How to save money for your nonprofit. Are you an officer or staff member at a charity? And are you looking for ways to run your organization more efficiently? If yes, this video is for you. Learn how to use your philanthropy's limited resources for maximum effect, and find out how America's best nonprofits keep their operational costs down so they can better serve their targeted groups and allocate more funding to their core programs and activities. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweetie Kiwi. How you doing today? I hope you are doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous, if you were to ask me. And if you are doing as great as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka and let's roll. Today I want to talk to you about how to save money for your nonprofits. Number one, nonprofit bulk postage permit. If your charity does direct mail or mails out newsletters, you can obtain a nonprofit bulk postage permit. By making changes like adding the 9-digit zip code as well as barcodes, you can further lower postage costs. In-house printing versus outsourced printing. You want to be very careful about in-house printing for your newsletter or other printed materials. Today's the age of everyone using high-tech computers and printers that allows us to produce a wonderful looking product. You still want to be careful. Make sure you honestly run the numbers on all the costs. Include the time staff depends on printing and folding, the repair cost of the copying machines, and supply cost versus taking the project to a local printer. 3. Accountability for board members. Now, you need to invest in accountability. At a minimum, you want to have a board member performance plan for everyone who is asked to serve on the board. So board members need to know what's expected of them. In addition to advising, they must be active in raising funds and providing the vision for the charity's future. There should be written job descriptions for all staff members also, as well as the minimum of an annual review. 4. Lowest bidder rule for major purchases. So if you are planning a major purchase or contract for a service, you want to get at least 3 written bids. This approach will allow you to get competitive prices and do accurate comparisons, right? 5. Cost effectiveness of charitable programs. You need to identify for every program that your charity runs. You want to make sure that the program is cost effective. It is key that you know that you're getting the bang for your buck while providing the programs. For example, if you're spending for every dollar invested, how much are you getting in return? In other words, return not in terms of making a profit, but in terms of reaching your goals, reaching the beneficiaries, right? So could you do something better to serve your beneficiaries, your clients, your donors? 6. Adopting best practices for budgeting. Now, budgeting is key to a philanthropy overall success because remember, donors are giving you money. They are entrusting you with their hard-earned money. You need to be a steward of that cash and use it properly. And the best way to do this is to establish a budget and keep your personnel aware of your organization finances. You allow staff to own the budget and give them the responsibility and authority for sub-budgets. To be useful, the budget must be honest and fully justify any increases shown from the previous year's budget. Now, the thing here is that unfortunately in America and Canada, in the majority of philanthropies, when executive directors drop the first draft of the budget, they tend to increase the expected donation revenue from the previous year without honestly having a plan to back it up. Right? This is a natural sort of reflex for people to say, okay, you know what? We had a budget of $1 million last year. This year we want to have 1.2, 1.3. Okay, 1.3, that's 300,000 increase. That's 30%. Can you back it up? Why do you need that much money? The adjustments must be backed up. It must be substantiated. Number 7, the right timing for purchases. If you want to save money for your philanthropy, you need to buy at the right time of the year. Right? So if you buy items the day you need them and not before, you are wasting a lot of cash. You need to plan ahead and ask a supplier when an item might go on sale. Number 8, USPS standard mail, and enhanced carried route mail. Now, authorized nonprofit organizations are eligible for additional savings. Nonprofit organizations and businesses use standard mail the same way. The only difference is that the authorized nonprofit organizations are eligible for additional savings on standard mail. Now, eligibility to use nonprofit rates is based both on the eligibility of the organization and the content of the mail piece as established by federal statutes. Okay, so the authorized nonprofit organizations can use standard mail or, as I said earlier, enhanced career route mail. Go on USPS. Go on USPS.gov to learn more about this. Saving on office supplies and related items. So I'm talking here about office supplies, janitorial supplies, or light bulbs. Right? You want to buy those in bulk. In most cases, the savings you might get from some of those discounts you get in the mail, they're due to poor quality of the material in addition to outrageous shipping and handling fees. So if you need office supplies, the best thing to do is to go to your local Staples or Office Depot. Remember that if you can show the managers, the store managers, that you are a nonprofit, they have the authority and they might give you a lot of items on discount, or even donate them to you. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweetie Kiwi. We are also having a conversation today around how to save money for your nonprofit. And I wanted to give you the next thing you can do is something called responsible buying. So you want to calculate always the full cost of buying a service or products. You want to be thorough. You want to read the fine prints. You want to check out the details to see if there are any hidden fees, because sometimes, unfortunately, there are delivery or special maintenance fees. 11. Fundraising best practices. When it comes to fundraising, as I said earlier, you want to make sure that you are not spending too much money on raising funds. So for each dollar raised, make sure that you can keep the fundraising cost to a minimal. Evaluate your fundraising plan and modify events that may no longer be fresh. Now, remember that as I was talking earlier about the board of directors, your board's time is valuable, and there are only so many fundraising events you're going to be able to motivate any board to do. Internal policies. If you want to save money for your charity, you want to set written policies and make sure your personnel know each one. You want to be consistent in your enforcement of these policies. Otherwise, you just open up yourself and the organization to a lawsuit, and that's definitely not what you want. Next, prevention procedures. You want to invest in prevention. That's key, because prevention is vital to make precautions for big and unexpected expenses. Every charity should have directors and officers insurance that covers the board in case of lawsuits. Right? So you should look at a wide range of insurance, including fire, flood, plate glass coverage, computer hardware and software, and thefts, because these things happen, unfortunately. Executive directors of an organization should also be insured personally. What about professional services? You can seek professional advice, right? Because you cannot know everything yourself, but the best board is made up of professionals, so you're not spending money on professional services. So that's why we always advise our viewers, if you're having a charity, make sure that you have at least an insurance agent on your board, an accountant, and a lawyer. Those are key services you need in a professional on a board when it comes to raising money or running a board in general. Think about bulk purchases. Purchasing essential products in bulk can help your charity keep down cost, as long as you have a need and a storage location for the supplies for the foreseeable future. Let's talk about utility costs. That's the 16. How do you save money? If you want to save on utility costs, ask your local utility company to do an audit to determine how you save money. Now, possible ideas include placing water saving units in your toilets, putting on a window tinting, or installing hand dryers to reduce paper towel usage. As you look to save money, look at the cost of any improvement and the amount of time it would take for you to recover the cost savings. What about fee waivers? A lot of top nonprofits do this. Do not automatically pay late fees, interest charges, or bank fees. You can ask for the fees to be waived if you normally are a good payer of your bills. Because even with banks merging and growing larger, they still want a strong community presence, so no bank wants to get a bad reputation for not being kind to nonprofits. Safety and security. Please look thoroughly at your organization's processes. And I'm talking here from the perspective of safety, security, and data privacy. Is the work environment safe? Are the parking lots lit with proper lighting? In case of fire, does everyone knows the evacuation routes and where to meet? Right? So those are things you want to pay attention to. Now, if you don't have this, please consider buying insurance. So with the proper insurance policy, the risks that I just talked about can be promptly combated and minimized, because the insurance company will force you or work with you to safeguard, to implement higher safety and security procedures. I'll be right back. Right after this, don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweetie Kiwi. We are still having a conversation here around how to save money for your nonprofits. If you love the content and the clarity of the content so far, please subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell so you are aware of new shows. And we drop this kind of shows every single day, rain or shine. We love this kind of shows. And smash the like button for me, please, if you enjoy the quality and the clarity of the content. And also comment below and share this content. Now, refund on sales taxes. That's another area you can save money on. In North Carolina and other states, nonprofits can usually get a refund on the sales tax they spend. Now remember that unfortunately it's not automatic. You have to apply for the refund, and you need to have the proper documentation, the proper paperwork, and you have to explain the purpose of your organization. So save any receipts you have whenever you make purchases and you have to pay a sales tax. Save the receipts. You can also cut costs by reviewing your invoices. Remember, people make mistakes all the time, and so do computers. So don't pay a bill on blind faith. If you did not get what you paid for, dispute the bill. Office furniture. You can always find free office furniture and other equipment by asking the major corporations and bank if they have any they would consider donating, right? Remember, every state agency has a surplus property program. So universities and community colleges have similar programs, and you may be able to talk with them at a local level and receive a donation. So don't spend money on office furniture. What about state unemployment taxes? This is something that's very important also. Now, as a 501c3 nonprofit organization, the federal government has provided your charity the luxury of opting out of the state unemployment tax system and directly reimbursing the state for benefits paid to former employees. Now, remember that opting out of the state unemployment tax system can save your nonprofit a considerable amount of money. However, the decision exposes your charity to self-insurance risks. What about data backup? Now, if you want to save money for your nonprofits, you want to keep backup copies off-site of any important records like financials, right? So this should be a part of your overall disaster plan that you should establish. Discount on purchases. Ask for a discount on everything and anything, right? If you don't ask, you're not going to get it. So you're losing nothing by asking. If you truly believe your organization and you truly believe in its cause and activities, and it can express your passion to others, asking should not be that hard. Labor law compliance. So you want to be compliant with labor laws and other laws that affect your charity. Now, to do this, you will save money. How? You'll save money by making the right hire decision, by hiring the right people. So you may need to subscribe to a newsletter or other publications to get the information you need. because you don't want to hire an attorney for this, You can also hire volunteers. To save money, you want to focus on using volunteers instead of paid staff. However, don't fool yourself though, because don't think that volunteer is totally free. They never are, because any good program requires that a volunteer is trained, which does cost money. Group purchasing program enrollment. You can also save money by joining with others, charities or businesses in something called a group purchasing program for equipment, supplies, or services. We have an entire show dedicated to the topic of group purchasing organization or group purchasing programs. You might want to double check that, because many national organizations already have these programs, the GPPs. You could even consider starting one locally. So the purchasing power of your nonprofit community may actually surprise you. All right, folks, this is it for today. I really wanted to thank you for your attention. I talked to you about how to save money for your nonprofit. I gave you a couple of tips: nonprofit bulk postage permit, in-house printing versus outsourced printing, accountability for board members, lowest bidder rule for major purchases, cost effectiveness of charitable programs, adopting best practices for budgeting, right timing for purchases, USPS standard mail and enhanced carried route mail, saving on office supplies and related items, responsible buying, fundraising best practices, internal policies, prevention procedures, professional services, bulk purchases, utility costs, fee waivers, safety and security, refund of sales taxes, invoice review, office furniture, state unemployment taxes, data backup, discount on purchases, labor law compliance, hiring volunteers, and last but not the least, group purchasing program enrollment. I will see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.